So we do our first project with Stilo, ORF. We released that in October of 2019. Then out of nowhere, we do the Black Apple. What are some of your memories from that whole time period and how the Black Apple came about?
Man, classic. Should have went triple. You know, um, I would say some of my memories from from ORF all the way to Black Apple.
That whole process.
That whole process. That was a transition for me. For one, my life was definitely changing. Changed dramatically. Uh, y'all got to witness some of that.
Absolutely.
Um, those projects are definitely huge coping mechanisms for me. Um, and you can hear it in the progress from ORF to Black Apple.
So, one thing I'll say about going from ORF to the Black Apple is your focus was different for the Black Apple. I believe you were in the process of doing some other music at the time. Yeah, you dropped the project with Shay.
Yeah.
That might not be the only project you were working on. You were working on multiple. Um, with ORF, I can definitely tell you was dropping verses, but your focus was different for the Black Apple versus ORF.
Yeah, absolutely. I am I was going through things that I never went through before while recording ORF, and while recording Black Apple, I had came to grips with what I was going through. So I was more confident in how I was speaking and what I was speaking about once we got to the Black Apple.
And this is what I would tell people and that I know about you just from being around you. Rob is never going to say no to music. That's how much he loves music.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he has multiple things going on at one time, if you bring Rob one a track, he going to give you a verse for that track. And I admire that about him. But I also can tell when your focus is on a whole nother level, when you're focused in on that project versus you got multiple things going on at one time. So ORF for me was a good project. We wrapped our asses off on that project.
Mm-hmm.
But the Black Apple is special because it was a cohesive unit coming together, not as individuals,
Mm-hmm.
but as a team to make the best product possible. What do you remember from the beginning of the Black Apple process?
I think what I remember from the beginning is we went to the grocery store, me and you, and we had this idea of like how it was going to be and how it was going to turn out, and uh the from the first track, the first track we recorded ended up being the first track on the project.
But see, I'm talking about when me and you spent a couple hours and picked 5 beats out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. So
like
the very
the
beginning.
beginning. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Like how this all came about. Yeah, definitely was going to be a balanced project, you know. And then after us being in this mode that we was in with what we like to call STR,
STR.
you know, we felt like it'd only be right. Like, hey, you know what? Stilo say he done rapping.
Let's pull his ass back in
we
again.
we got we got to pull him back in, and even with the first title track, I even tell him that, um when I say, these verses is freeing slaves, meaning like, the things that you saying has the potential to, free someone of a disturbed mindset,
Mm.
so definitely needed, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we realized with that while we were coming up with those beats, and when we were about to, I mean, regardless of how anything would have played out, we was gonna make, there's gonna be another project coming.
And it was coming back to back.
Yeah.
So us picking out those 5 beats and like, okay, let's hit Stilo up, because we already knew it was gonna be some resistance, but we knew once we got him over to your house,
Yep.
he was gonna do it, you know.
Yeah.
So I remember calling him on the phone, like, he like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Hey man, this next project."
Yeah.
Like, what is you talking about? No, I said we got all the beats already picked out. It was all about making it, you know, as
Easier.
easy as possible, because I don't want you declining nothing. So he got over there and like, man, we want to do another project. And he came up with the stipulation.
Yep.
If we do it, because I want to work on my last album, we got to do it all in one day. And you can take it from there, Rob.
Yeah. And yeah, we you know, something that we had never did. I was down, you was down, but still, like, you know, as a perfectionist that you are, it's like, hey, like, hold on, like, wait a minute, this, I don't see the possibility.
Yep. I'm going to tell you right now. So we got over there about 10, 11 o'clock. And we recorded
Behind the curtain,
the first track, smooth.
Yeah.
Everything goes without a hitch.
Say it comes through.
Say it come through. And this is just the magic in making a process, right place, right time. Say it wasn't even supposed to be on the project.
Shout out Said Linus.
Shout out to Said. Wrote a dope verse. Got on the next song we were working on, Warzone. My verse is coming slow. We record Warzone, so we got 2 down. Y'all start writing therapy session. Y'all got both of your verses down. By this time, it's like 9 at night.
Yeah.
So what I want people to understand about this process was, we said we were going to do it all in one day. We didn't have 24 hours to do it. We was probably about 10 hours in at that point.
Yeah.
I found myself forcing, getting tired. And if it wasn't for me, I think we would have got all 5 tracks done, probably in that same space. I'm not going to say 12 hours. It still would have went into the morning, I think, for us to get all 5 tracks done.
Yeah.
We didn't get all the tracks done. And I think it was 2 weeks later. So the second session, I came back with the beat for STR and the beat for the title track, Black Apple.
Yeah.
Because initially it was all the same producer, 5 tracks, same producer.
Yep.
End up coming back with those tracks.
Strong tracks. Strong.
And that's the way I kind of look at the process. It would have been a cooler story to tell if I could say we did it all in one day. But if I take STR off there and we take the Black Apple off there, I think it's a different project.
Absolutely. And you've asked me that before, like, you know, think about the type of songs that we were going to put on there versus the type of songs that ended up being on there, meaning like the Black Apple and STR, you know. And I remember you joking with me about STR, like, hey, like, I don't care what you talking about, but this one is going to be it. This is going to go, you know.
I tend to have that vibe about certain songs.
Yeah.
Stilo actually ended up using one of the tracks on his last album, the Pray For Me track. So when I sit there and I think about the feel of that song and it being on the Black Apple, yeah, it probably would have worked, but I'm glad that we stepped back and then came back with those 2 tracks a couple weeks later. So we didn't get it all done in one day, but it only took 2 sessions to get it done.
Yeah, and then I honestly think that those tracks wouldn't have worked on the Black Apple. I love the way it turned out. I think it was meant to turn out that way. And yeah, you have, if not everything, but a lot to do with, you know what I'm saying, the way that project was turned out. You know, it was a collective.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, you basically like you DJ Khaled it. You know what I'm saying? As far as, hey, you know, these two, and they're 2 strong tracks on a project. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know, you take Therapy Session, you take Warzone, and you take Behind the Curtain, and you could place those in the middle, and then the Black Apple and STR are like the glue. You know what I mean? That brought all that together.
And I don't think it was intentional, but when you look at the cover, you know, it's 3 Black Apples on the cover. And when you think about where that project was headed the day we started doing the 3 tracks, it was very dark.
Yeah.
You know, it is in a lot of ways a very dark project. It's a lot of stuff being revealed. And I think the Black Apple needed a song like STR.
Oh, definitely.
For it. So that one in particular, I'm happy that, you know, we went away and came back. What is your favorite song on there and why?
Well, if I'm being honest, I would have to say Behind the Curtain. It's the track that I listen to almost every day. That I got in my playlist of songs of music that I play every day. It's so real and authentic to where, like, you know, it's like one of them things was like, damn, I was there. You know, it was early in the morning and Tay like, oh man, I'm tired. It's too early.
Brings you back to that spot.
Brings me
know?
right there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there's nothing like a song that can do that for you. You know, it's unexplainable the feeling that I get. So I would say that's my favorite track based on that. But if I'm saying like the track that I like the most, I would have to go with I would have to go with Warzone.
That's a tough track, boy.
Yeah, Warzone is just, it's undeniable. I really wanted to, I mean, we still can
Absolutely.
you know, shoot a video to that track. And you know, everyone's got busy lives, but I definitely think we should do that. And everybody has a different idea of what that video should look like as well.
And the process of doing something solo versus a duo and a trio, boy, that's a whole different animal because you got 3 different sets of ideas and the whole nine. One thing I will never take away from Stilo, whether it was his last album, second to last, he gonna give you 100% when he come in there. So there is no slacking from Stilo on neither one of the projects. When we've talked in the past, maybe he feels different now. He felt like the rapping was better on ORF. I disagree. I just feel like we were so cohesive on this one, and we had so much to say, and I think we conveyed, you know, everything we wanted to say on this last project that we did together, the Black Apple.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think what helped both those projects was us being teammates outside of music. You know, us playing basketball every Sunday, Wednesday, and having all, you know, going undefeated and winning 2 championships. You know,
and I think things like that is something that people underestimate.
Yeah,
if you just come in a room with somebody and record music and there's no rapport there, there's no respect there, I'm just doing this to do it, I think the quality of the music reflects that sometimes. So I definitely think in the process of doing both of these projects together, like, we built a stronger bond.
Oh yeah, and you know how me and you are this way with features, where it's like, hey, you featured on anything of ours, it's special because we don't just throw anybody on the track. I mean, my next project, I got 1 feature. You know what I'm saying? It's you.
Hey, and that's how it's been since we linked up. So I got to get that man his flowers. You know, I don't know if he's gonna do another solo project, but I know anytime I've asked him to feature on something, there's been no questions asked, and I can't say that about a lot of people in this game. So
yeah, man, and Steele's a stand-up dude, man, like on all ends. Love that brother. You know, like he you know, when things were going super duper blam for him, he was right there. You know,
I literally told him that the last time we played ball. I said, man, you know, I never take for granted when I ask you, even if it's just to come play ball with everything else that you got going on in your life. He's somebody that's dependable, was in my wedding just like you were. So, you know, I think very highly of him. And like I said, at the end of the day, it was definitely a pleasure to do these projects with him.
Absolutely.
So the Black Apple, looking back on it a few years later, still available on all streaming sites.
All of them joints.
If you haven't listened to it, please go back and listen to the project and leave us some feedback.
Black Apple, even at 18, not a boy nor a man, the fall of Adam. A delicacy to its relevancy. A rarity is legacy, attain solidarity. But barely, my nigga, look at the disparity. The irony of supremacy. A moment
Pushed
of
out the
clarity.
outside world to try to gain me some sanity. Realized working out was more than just for vanity. Doctor told me take it easy, your heart like a canopy. But I feel like sometimes I'm different from humanity. Just let me be spirit-like. Sometimes I feel I write too real for neophytes. I'm sorry, the Israelite inside of me is strong now. Rich, you would be proud. I learned how to assess shit before it come now. They dumbfound, but I think niggas get it twisted. I don't